My name is Teresa Lockwood. I reside in Vineland, New Jersey, and I am going to record a false teacher, my persecutor, who is colluding with the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department and Calvary Chapel, and they're mocking holy authoritative commentary interpretations that always serve a purpose. I do not speak in vain and never have. Okay, but we're listening to my persecutors. I just want to let you know that these false Christians, basically not Christian, are manipulating in their display here, showing a lot of hypocrisy. They're trying to mock my teaching in regards to Jonah. Now, the thing is, they're using my words because I basically said in regards to Jesus' teaching of you will say to this mountain, be moved over there, and it will be moved. I basically identified that it wasn't about the mountain. It's about lining up what you say and do with the Spirit in truth. And the thing is that I actually corrected a false teaching of their main cult leader who actually destroyed my children. So I'm actually going to record in here how they mock and laugh and said that they wouldn't listen to anybody who was right, but they wouldn't listen to somebody who basically makes mistakes and has failed. So they basically, in their own false ideologies, have insulted Jesus, who basically presented the perfect righteousness to be identified in Jesus. And of course, they mock persecution. Just want to let you know, this cult persecuted me, still is persecuting me, can cause severe trauma. They say I'm not of God because, they cause trauma, and, I'm basically, they basically claim they're satanic lies to vilify their victims or whatever. So it's really, really disturbing how they can just sit there and laugh at, now, the woman to the, it'd be my left, I guess, she's very naive, so she's not pretending to be like this, this well-skilled person in the Bible or anything, so this cannot be held against her. But this guy is trying to play all wise, and he is doesn't know what he's talking about. So I don't know if I'm going to back up and get to it. I'm going to just record this section of Jonah. I did a video a number of years ago in regards to Jonah, and the teaching was very important, by the way, and valuable for the purpose that it served. The thing is, it's like, I'm just going to record him real quick, and he said, oh, well, it doesn't matter if Jonah was swallowed by a fish or not. Well, yes, it does. The thing is, in my teaching, I no longer have it, but I actually love the book of Jonah, but he's calling it an allegory, calls the book of Job an allegory. Look, the thing is, he's basically bringing up these things like, oh, this is how you're to understand it, and act like he's speaking against people taken out of context. Okay, he actually displays the passage of Peter demonstrating and saying she who was in Babylon. I find it very interesting. So the thing is, I was going to, and he basically came up with this thing that there's no factual evidence of Babylon being existing at that time or whatever. So the thing is, I'm just like, okay, this is a thing. I do not recall. I read the book of Peter, 1st, 2nd Peter, a number of times. I do not remember the passage where it says she was in Babylon, but I do have knowledge, and I basically researched like here or there over the years in regards to Babylon. Now, in the book of Revelations, it is metaphorical. In regards to rather existed I was recapping on it. I looked things up. I mean, I actually found extra information that I did not know, but it was fascinating. But the thing is, while I'm searching, okay, and I was going to do a video of these pieces, apparently there was somebody who basically altered an old article from like 2010, and I'm not. Look, I I have to sneeze. I'm not saying that somebody couldn't come to the same conclusion, but the way I do it is like my recollection was not that detailed in regards to Babylon. Um, and actually started actually not centering around Babylon, but other areas, and like, you know, people taking over territories and things like that, and it being recognized as another name, and then it being called something later when it was taken over and things like that. So I mean, I have basics on that. And so what I was going to do is going to do a video in regards to tracing the taking over. So at the time where Babylon was, Babylon around in that area was like taken over by Rome, previous taken over by Persia. And I actually wound up looking up I had to close out Windows, so I'm actually going to go into my history actually. So I was basically tracing back is what I was doing. I actually spent a lot of hours on it, so I'm not going to do it now. The thing is, I came across this article, right? And as I was sitting there setting up just to put in front of me basics of empires taking over Babylon throughout time, and it could have been known as basically Babylon, or a small portion could have been that of related to Babylon. But the thing is like when I was trying to just lay this out, because I don't have a memory of that, I'm not well skilled in that particular field, and it's okay if you're not, but please get some basics to know what you're talking about in regards to Babylon. There's no reason to indicate why when Peter says she was in Babylon is to be a metaphor. At all. So, I'm trying to think. All right. So this is one of the things. I found this article, and it has my words in it that I use that is unique to me. And it says in the article, it says Babylon's demise. I use demise basically as a dead end, like, noun or whatever, and there was like a discussion over that. So this is a thing. The police have been manipulating these things for years, ever since I was actually even attending this church. And I started being on the internet and things like that, and they were making up things that I got unique statements to me from like somewhere else. So throughout the years, they've actually made false articles and put my words in it. And they're like, oh, you got it from somewhere. Because these are atheists, by the way. They want to prove their thing that everybody's like a product of their environment, which we are. Everybody is. We're influencing each other all the time, and rather we're like influenced by something or rejecting something or whatever. But they want to prove this stance or whatever. Oh, you learned that from your parents. The thing is, the things that I teach, I did not. I teach against everything I grew up on, and I never conformed to any ideologies, from the simplest, stupidest things to biblical teachings or whatever. Never ever even conformed to anything. The thing is, there's a lie also that going around, because they basically investigated it and realized I was teaching against what these churches were teaching. Because what I was teaching was biblically correct. Okay, spiritually correct. So the thing is that, so they go, oh, well, you learned it from your parents. Now, first of all, I find that to be very, well, they don't even care. They're painfully insulting me anyway. They're just being abusive. Okay, and these are the violent police, by the way, mainly the Pentecostals and Catholics. They're very, very jealous with an ungodly jealousy that is like, they just keep slandering me. It's unbelievable. So the thing is that I made up these things. First of all, I didn't know my parents, but if you want, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, because I didn't technically say my biological parents or whatever. I'm not doing that. I don't do that. So even if somebody's off in a conversation, I'll set it right or whatever, what they meant by it by principle or whatever. So I always give my a misunderstanding on another side, and basically not seeing something, some leeway to basically put this or this there or whatever. But in regards to, like, I'm not going to sit there and like, oh, well, you didn't say biological parents or whatever. This is the game they play. I don't do that. So, I basically give a strength and weakness. I believe in doing that. So, the thing is, their abominations though, and their willful abuse is more than a weakness. Okay, it's just abuse. Okay, it's just slander. So the thing is that regardless that I never met my parents, so we're going to relate that to basically the people who I was adopted by or so-called raised in, even though I was basically abandoned when I was around 9, 10 years old. This is the thing. First of all, the so-called people I grew up with, I could recall probably about no more than 20 times that they ever said anything to me. They did not teach any knowledge. They did not really raise us. Okay. Um, um, yes, the things that were around, when being around them, it was the whole thing was like children play outside and basically, shooed from adults. That's basically how I was raised. I basically played outside like 90% of the time from the time I woke up to the dinner time. Okay, so the thing is that and other times you're in church and they weren't around or what have you, and you basically, how it was in church, or go to your classes or sat in church or whatever the case may be. My so-called parents were non-communicative, and they one was just indifferent, the other one was just ignorant, nice and ignorant. The adopted dad was nice and ignorant. Okay. And he worked, he did these things, he went to church or what have you, shook people's hands, he was friendly, he was nice, but he never had a conversation. Okay, so the thing is they like teaching, I don't know, he said prayers before dinner time, okay, before meals, just like a small simple prayer or whatever, standard, I guess. But other than that, there was hardly any like communication. Fran hardly spoke at all. Okay, and he was working most of the time. So the thing is just that there was nothing to even go by. Now the thing is, I do. They're like, oh, you do what your parents did, and it's just like, no, I do a lot of things that was opposition to them. Okay. I basically taught knowledge. I always communicated with my children. I was very involved in my children's lives. From my children's schools, field trips, communicating with them. I had study parties with my son because he was more rebellious against the whole school thing. My daughter was the opposite, very into like reading and and learning and things like that or whatever. So I just identified my son as being an active learner, so I followed routes to basically strengthen him in those areas. So they were completely opposites. The thing is that the story's more complicated than that, but the thing is it's just that yeah, I taught my children knowledge and a lot of things that were unknown to other people. The thing is, these police and this ignorant, arrogant, ungodly church basically took a statement of mine that was, I told my daughter and I tried to teach her. And of course I would appreciate a flower. Children sit there and pick flowers for you and give, flowers. I got flowers from a lot of people, kids in the neighborhood, my children and other kids in the neighborhood, or people I was a nanny for, or babysitting, or whatever the case may be. But I remember saying to my children, and I shared it, and I was teaching her, to next time you find a field of flower, I told her, next time you find a field of flowers or flowers, take me to them. So if you pick them from them, they will die. And wasn't supposed to cry on that, but yeah, there's just because of altered things throughout circumstances afterwards, that just kind of hit me. But so the thing is that God put them where He wanted them um to make I don't remember all the details or whatever. I said it at the time, but when I'm in spirit from person to person, spirit to spirit, it's different than when I basically re-explain it sometimes or whatever. So it can also change if I say something to one person can actually be similar and alter a little bit if it's something in need for somebody else, and basically may change to adapting to basically them as who are in their individuality. So the thing is that they took that and they basically wanted to sit there and prove their lie, which is just a lie. They haven't proved anything because they're liars. And they basically made up false articles. And basically said, oh, I got that from somewhere or what have you. So it wasn't until later that I actually looked it up. And, because it was something, a couple other things that they were like rewriting things to claim and put my words in it to claim that's where I got it from. The thing is, they're still doing it. The Vineland, New Jersey, Colton, the Vineland, New Jersey Police Department are actually deliberately using people and taking my words and giving them to other people to copywriting unique statements of mine, like my teaching of the law. Law is like a guardrail to keep you on the road, protect you from going off the road. If you should, sway off the road. And they basically they're keep copying for like years, week by week by week by week, copying words that I'm saying and giving it to other people. So if I say it again, they can sit there and say that's where I got it from, and it's not. Now, the thing is, yes, I've learned words from other people. I'm not saying I didn't take anything from anybody else. I sit there and speak commonly and use words that I look up that people that did not come from me. Principles that I've used and teachings are unique to me, that originated in me. They want to sit there and basically try to prove their lie. So they create another lie to cover it up. This is what they're doing. So apparently I found this article, and so they know how I research. Like, these people have, like, I mean, they slander me and they know who I am, which is really, really terrible because they're burying me and they've been doing it for years, and then stealing knowledge from me. So the thing is that apparently they made this or had this article changed. They do change things online. They have altered, like, I mean, things from articles, Wikipedia, things that I've researched in the library. I looked up on Wikipedia to see what it says and all these things or whatever. And the thing is, it's just like, when I sat there and spoke against something that was displayed like a history, evidence of something or whatever, the case may be, they altered it. I went back to it to basically look it up to share the information. They altered it. This is what they're doing. So, for example, like, Pentecostals being sued in like the 1980s for blasphemy, because I said that blasphemy was, all the books that is against the law or whatever, but people abuse it. They're not going to follow such a thing or whatever. But regardless, they were protecting the fraudulent Pentecostals because they were created out of evil. And I basically brought it up because they were because of somebody suing them because of a false healing and their child died or something like that. It's kind of like things that are going on today where they're misleading people not to accept, like, medical attentions and things like that or whatever, and all these false faith healers. So there was a lawsuit basically against blasphemy, actually. or a charge or whatever, as a crime. So, the thing is, people just do it, like, they don't care. They justify evil. So, I don't know. I'm trying to look up. Alright. So I'm just gonna scroll what oh my goodness. How far down? How many things did I go through and look up? Okay. So this is what it's somewhere in here. I'm not gonna, hold on. Okay. I just want to see where it starts. Oh my gosh, I don't know. So this is the thing. I started out by just looking up the places that are listed in First Peter, in the first passage. Is it? Okay, yeah, I got into a lot of other things that I thought was interesting. So this is around. Wait, I don't wanna. This is 5:21 a.m. But this was. I want the date. Oh no. Okay. 5:12. Alright, so I was looking up the basics. Now, I mean, a lot of people know the basic, like Babylon destroyed. So I wanted to, like, start from there and, like, go throughout history or what have you. So this is, like, you know, see. I was, like, onto these names and, like, you know, all kinds of things. Pronounce this to see how it was pronounced and stuff. But King of Persia. So that's, like, where I started, the, thing. Then I look up Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia. I don't know if I said it right. Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia. Oh my gosh. Maybe I missed. Yeah, okay, I mistyped it. No, I didn't. Mesopotamia. I can't say it. Look, so I have. Alright, so I mistyped it when I first searched it. I guess I put no, I didn't. Miss Tomia. Oh no, they're spelled the same. Alright, anyway, so the thing is, yeah, so I looked up, you know, and I found this article. So, yeah, so, yeah, I'm just gonna record this. I don't know, I'm just there. Like, oh, nothing come up. Oh, no. Don't want to select it. Alright. I don't know the time, but it's basically, this was yesterday. When was it yesterday? There we go. Alright. It was on the 12th. Okay. So anyway, they have this, I had all kinds of things. Posting things. I was actually doing other stuff biblically also. So, you know, this is, see, it's just like, you know, anyway. So, I'm going to end this, though. But this is a thing. And I'm just going to record this. So, they're playing games. They're deliberately saying things in here. And I want to do another video. So I'm going to record this. And the thing is, my thing in regards to Jonah, it was important. This is why it was important. Because the thing is, there's this argument going on that has been going on for many, many, many years. about trying to disprove the Bible or prove the Bible. And the thing is that it is all over if Jonah could have survived being excuse me, I got dust or something on my eyelash. I don't know what that is. Being swallowed by the male, so they put it on these scientific things or whatever. The thing is, goes beyond the limits of man's understanding. Okay, and um this is the thing. Um, in regards, let me just record him real quick. I want to record him. In regards to Jonah, it says fish, right? And Jesus said, compared it to Jonah, it says, so Jonah was in the heart of the earth, for 3 days, 3 nights, so I will be also. Okay? So the thing is that Jesus is actually interpreting, things correctly, which he has in a number of places, and where he took what people were not seeing, and giving it a meaning that it was intended. Okay, so is that just a light? I'm gonna have something on my eyelash. I don't know if it was a light or what. So the thing is, it's just like, here are you to sit there and say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. They're sitting there taking my words and when I sit there and say it doesn't matter, and putting a different meaning on what I'm saying. They're playing these games. I don't play games. Last time I sat there and said, well, I said it a number of times throughout the years. And it's like this isn't a game, and they actually both said it, Calvary Chapel and Raymond Church or whatever, and all they're doing is playing head games, like this demonic evil head game. So, whatever. It's very important that basically it's very descriptive after the passage. If you read past the first or second verse, that it's very descriptive. That Jonah was basically, a fish is metaphorical for, maybe an opening, or it could be a translation, or something that was identified, in meaning, that can be like a core principle for fish, or opening of a mouth, or mouth opening, okay, or something like that could be connected to, you know, a fish, whale, sea monster, or an opening of the waters, or whatever the case may be. So the thing is that these are principles that I actually realize in basically looking up words. I had a discussion with my son with that. It's over burger, and my son basically insisted that burger is meat. And it's like, how can you eat a vegan burger? And I'm just like, who says the meaning of burger is meat? So we looked it up. So, and I had to show my son or what have you, named off their place and all this other stuff, yada, 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 yada. And gave him a little history of how basically the hamburger was like, like made, or whatever the story goes, or is said that some guy like squashed the meatball on a grill or something. I don't know. But anyway, oh my gosh, my time's ticking. So the thing is like, but you know, it's called a hamburger. Is a hamburger ham, you know, type deal. So just like principles think of when listening to words and what they mean. You don't have to actually go look up in a dictionary or whatever, but it's just like, how is it used by the principle used for it, because sometimes there's a meaning in a word that is put on something that is physical. Okay, so I'm gonna go on. So and okay, and we identify it as that object rather than the principle that is claimed to used for that object or whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna record. You know what? I should just do part 2. I don't know, because I'm taking up too much time.
And the city of Nineveh, and all of those kinds of things.
Oops.
But the actual story of being swallowed by a whale, was it more figurative? Was it more an allegory to describe his journey, or was it a literal fish? Mm-hmm. And because we don't have any factual evidence, either one of the sides you take on that coin doesn't change the story. Yeah. But so often in Christian circles, and when we're working our way through the Bible, we get caught up on things.
Yeah, we do.
That really don't matter. in the grand scheme of it. The story is.
It does matter because of my use of why it mattered and why I made this, why I taught the story. Matter of fact, in the story, by the way, I did a video in regards to grace because they were all saying that grace is not in the Old Testament. Okay, the Old Testament, and and saying all these things, and I basically used Jonah as an example for grace, and the repentant of Nineveh. So the thing is, every use of that I used was important, and my whole thing was to break and destroy the false principle of all these years people trying to, because I grew up with the whole Jonah got swallowed by the whale. Even as a kid, they had these little pictures of a whale and Jonah inside the belly. I even remember a picture with like a little fire. I don't know, it was like, or a lamp or something. I don't remember what it was, like inside this whale, which didn't make any sense to me. And it was actually, I didn't know the story until I actually decided to read it and go through the Bible, to identify or reject what they taught and correct, as much as false teachings that I basically heard, or see if it was true or how they taught it. Does it matter how they teach Jonah? Yes, it does. It does matter. Okay, so they're going to sit there and decide what it has meaning and the purpose of it. The thing is, where the purpose isn't is his statement. That's where there's no purpose. But it is very effective to sit there for his statement to say that. It is completely unauthoritative, disrespectful, and rude. And they want to sit there and try to play Mr. Wise over, oh, the gift of God given in me, of God's wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Oh, that God put an important work in me to do so, but you all speak by your carnal selves. Not only that, you're going to sit there and you're going to do what? You're going to mock Jesus and laugh and then sit there and why they persecuted me and destroyed my family. They're going to be, and they even said that, oh, there's no, persecution today. I'm going to do another part on that, by the way. And I'm not sitting there, they'll sit there and talk about other countries and stuff like that or whatever, but there is heinous, I'm not the only one persecuted in the United States for speaking the truth. But these churches, they're attacking Christianity. And they have no idea what they're talking about. So, we're going to record this, or what have you. So, I found an article. The thing is, I'm going to post it to my page. But the thing is, it has my words in it. The thing is, people could have came to a same thing to identify and try to identify Shizun and Babylon as a little place. The thing is, they were still identifying another place that is mentioned in the first chapter of Peter. So I actually looked that up. Apparently they were still identifying because they actually reserved an area in regards to that time of Babylonia, that the people were not, it became its own state or what have you. I just want to open. So I'm actually gonna end with that. So I'm going to get cut off because it's 33 minutes. Shoot. Okay. So and where it is again. See. Okay, Bithynia, okay, I think it's the place that I looked up. So, the thing is that, there could have been identified places, still identified as Babylonia. So, that was the area of Babylonia, by the way. So, Mr. Little, know-it-all just gonna come up and just make up, oh, well, there's no evidence of that. That's like these atheists sitting there saying, oh, there's no evidence of God. Don't have any knowledge of it, and basically not even seeking out to basically debunk it. They just make it up. That's all they do. So I'm going to do another part because this is getting long.